Imagine sailing across the tranquil waters of Lake Nasser in southern Egypt, where the serene environment envelops you in a sense of timelessness. The sun bathes the landscape in a warm golden light, casting long shadows and creating a mesmerizing play of colors on the water's surface. As you glide across the lake, a majestic sight emerges on the horizon, gradually revealing itself in the distance. A sandstone temple, its massive pylons reaching for the sky, stands as a testament to a bygone era, echoing the grandeur of ancient civilizations. This is the Temple of Kalabsha, a magnificent structure that has witnessed the ebb and flow of history for over 2 millennia, standing proudly by the lake. The Temple of Kalabsha, originally situated at Bab al-Kalabsha, was one of the largest and most impressive temples in Nubia, showcasing the architectural prowess of its builders. Nubia, an ancient region spanning southern Egypt and northern Sudan, was a land of rich history and vibrant culture, where the past and present intertwine. The Nubians, renowned for their strength and resilience, developed a unique civilization that interacted closely with their Egyptian neighbors, sharing and exchanging cultural and technological advancements. The Temple of Kalabsha stands as a powerful symbol of this dynamic relationship, embodying the rich tapestry of Nubian and Egyptian history. The Temple of Kalabsha was dedicated to Mandulis, the Nubian sun god. This magnificent structure stands as a testament to the rich cultural and religious heritage of ancient Nubia. Mandulis, often depicted as a falcon-headed man, represented power, protection and healing in Nubian belief. His image adorned many temples and monuments, symbolizing his importance in the daily lives of the Nubian people. He was a central figure in the Nubian pantheon, revered as a benevolent deity who brought light and life to the land. The sun, a vital element in Nubian culture, was seen as his divine manifestation. The temple at Kalabsha served as a place of worship and devotion, where offerings were made and rituals performed to honor this powerful god. Priests conducted ceremonies to ensure the favor of Mandulis, seeking his blessings for prosperity and health. The construction of the temple spanned several centuries, beginning during the Roman period in the reign of Emperor Augustus around 30 BC. This long construction period allowed for a blend of styles and influences. Over the years, subsequent rulers, including Roman emperors and Nubian kings, added their own contributions to the temple complex. Each ruler left their mark, enriching the temple's history and significance. This blend of architectural styles and artistic influences reflects the diverse cultural tapestry that shaped the history of Kalabsha. The temple stands as a symbol of the enduring legacy of Nubian and Roman collaboration. The Temple of Kalabsha, built with sandstone quarried from the surrounding desert, is a masterpiece of ancient architecture. Its massive pylons, adorned with intricate carvings, lead into a series of courtyards, halls and sanctuaries. The walls of the temple are covered with hieroglyphics and reliefs depicting scenes from Egyptian mythology, religious rituals and the lives of pharaohs. Within the temple's sacred chambers, priests perform daily rituals, offering prayers and sacrifices to appease the gods. The scent of incense filled the air as worshippers gathered in the courtyards, seeking the favor of Mandulis and other deities. The temple was not only a place of worship, but also a center of learning and culture, where scribes copied sacred texts and artists honed their skills. For centuries, the Temple of Kalabsha stood as a beacon of faith and culture, its massive structure seemingly impervious to the passage of time. However, in the 20th century, a modern marvel threatened its very existence: the construction of the Aswan High Dam, a monumental project aimed at controlling the flow of the Nile River and generating hydroelectric power, would create a vast reservoir behind it, Lake Nasser. The rising waters of Lake Nasser would submerge many ancient sites, including the Temple of Kalabsha. Recognizing the immense historical and cultural value of these monuments, the Egyptian government, in collaboration with UNESCO, launched an international campaign to save them from a watery grave. The international campaign to save the monuments of Nubia, launched in 1960, was an unprecedented undertaking. It was a call to action that resonated across the globe, drawing attention to the rich cultural heritage at risk of being lost forever. Archaeologists, engineers and experts from around the world joined forces in a race against time to document, dismantle and relocate threatened monuments. This collaborative effort showcased the power of international cooperation in preserving history. The Temple of Kalabsha, one of the largest and most significant structures at risk, became a focal point of this international effort. Its grandeur and historical importance made it a symbol of the campaign's success. The relocation process was a remarkable feat of engineering. It required innovative solutions and meticulous planning to ensure the temple's integrity was maintained throughout the move. First, the temple was meticulously documented, with every stone, carving and inscription carefully photographed and catalogued. This detailed record was crucial for the accurate reassembly of the temple at its new location. Then, the temple was carefully dismantled, with each block numbered and its original location recorded. This painstaking process ensured that the temple could be reconstructed exactly as it had stood for centuries. The disassembled blocks were then transported to a new site, higher ground that would remain above the waterline of Lake Nasser. This new location would protect the temple from the rising waters, preserving it for future generations to admire and study. After years of meticulous work, the Temple of Kalabsha was reassembled on a small island just south of the Aswan High Dam. This new location, carefully chosen to resemble the temple's original setting as much as possible, offered a safe haven for the ancient monument. Today the temple stands proudly on its island home, its sandstone walls glowing in the warm Egyptian sun. The relocation of the Temple of Kalabsha stands as a testament to the power of international cooperation and the importance of preserving our shared cultural heritage. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, humanity can come together to protect the treasures of the past for future generations. In recognition of its outstanding universal value, the Temple of Kalabsha, along with other monuments relocated during the Nubian salvage campaign, was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1979. This prestigious designation recognizes the temple's significance as an exceptional example of ancient Nubian architecture and a testament to the rich cultural heritage of the region. The inscription of the Temple of Kalabsha on the World Heritage List highlights the importance of preserving cultural heritage for present and future generations. It serves as a reminder of the enduring power of the past to inspire, educate, and connect us to our shared human history. The Temple of Kalabsha offers a fascinating glimpse into the religious beliefs and practices of ancient Nubia. The temple's reliefs and inscriptions provide valuable insights into the worship of Mandulis, the Nubian sun god, and his role in the lives of the people. They also shed light on the interactions between the Nubian and Egyptian cultures, revealing a complex tapestry of shared traditions and unique beliefs. One intriguing feature of the Temple of Kalabsha is the presence of a small chapel dedicated to the worship of Augustus, the first Roman emperor. This chapel, built during the Roman period, reflects the influence of Roman rule in Nubia and the syncretic nature of religious beliefs in the ancient world. Today, the Temple of Kalabsha stands as a popular tourist destination, attracting visitors from around the world who come to marvel at its architectural grandeur and soak up its historical significance. As you explore the temple's courtyards and chambers, let your imagination transport you back in time to an era of pharaohs, gods, and ancient rituals. The Temple of Kalabsha is more than just a monument. It is a living testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity, resilience, and the timeless allure of the past. Its journey from its original location on the banks of the Nile to its new home on Lake Nasser serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of preserving our shared cultural heritage for generations to come. Beauty, a reflection of holiness. In the golden sands of ancient Egypt, beauty wasn't just skin deep, it was a reflection of holiness, a sign of favour from the gods. The Egyptians believed that a pleasing appearance indicated a pure soul. This belief permeated every aspect of their lives, from their elaborate rituals to their daily routines. This spiritual connection between beauty and divinity fueled the Egyptians' fascination with cosmetics. They weren't merely tools to enhance, they were sacred instruments to connect with the divine. Cosmetics were used to ward off evil, ensure good health, and appease the gods. In essence, applying makeup was an act of devotion. Cosmetics for all, a spiritual connection. In ancient Egypt, the pursuit of beauty transcended gender. Both men and women adorned themselves with cosmetics. This widespread use underscores the deep spiritual significance Egyptians attached to their appearance. Men, women, and even children painted their eyes with kohl, a dark pigment believed to ward off the evil eye. They believed that a well-presented appearance, regardless of gender, reflected a harmonious balance between the physical and spiritual realms. This belief fostered a society where cosmetics were not seen as frivolous, but as essential tools for spiritual well-being. The alchemy of kohl, a chemical marvel. This ancient cosmetic has fascinated historians and chemists alike for centuries. Of all the cosmetics used in ancient Egypt, kohl reigned supreme. It was more than just a tool for beauty, it was a symbol of status, health, and even spirituality. This dark, dramatic eyeliner wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a chemical marvel. The Egyptians believed that kohl had protective and healing properties, making it an essential part of their daily lives. The Egyptians created kohl by grinding and blending ingredients like galena, a lead-based mineral, with other substances like burnt almonds and malachite. This meticulous process required skill and knowledge passed down through generations. The galena gave kohl its intense black colour and acted as an antiseptic, protecting the eyes from infections. This was particularly important in the harsh, sandy environment of Egypt, where eye infections were common. The Egyptians believed that the almond oil helped to cleanse and soothe the delicate skin around the eyes. This oil was not only a cosmetic ingredient but also a skincare remedy, providing moisture and protection against the dry desert air. They also understood that malachite, a copper carbonate mineral, possessed antibacterial properties, further safeguarding their eyes from the harsh desert conditions. This green mineral was not just for colour. It was a crucial component in their eye care regimen, demonstrating their advanced understanding of natural substances. Kohl was more than a cosmetic. It was a part of the cultural and spiritual fabric of ancient Egypt. It was used in religious ceremonies believed to ward off evil spirits and was even found in the tombs of pharaohs, signifying its importance in the afterlife. Today, scientists continue to study ancient coal, uncovering its complex composition and the sophisticated techniques used by the Egyptians. This ancient cosmetic remains a testament to their ingenuity and their deep connection to the natural world. Healing hues, cosmetics as medicine. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in the use of cosmetics, not just for beauty, but for health and healing as well. The Egyptians' understanding of cosmetics went beyond aesthetics. They recognized their medicinal properties. They believed that beauty and health were intertwined, and their cosmetic practices reflected this holistic approach. The Ebers Papyrus, an ancient medical text dating back to 1550 BC, provides valuable insights into this aspect. This extensive document is one of the oldest and most important medical papyri of ancient Egypt, containing over 700 remedies and formulas. It details recipes for cosmetics that doubled as treatments for skin ailments and eye infections. These recipes were meticulously recorded, showcasing the Egyptians' advanced knowledge of natural ingredients and their applications. For instance, the Egyptians used red ochre, a natural clay earth pigment, not only as blush but also as a treatment for skin inflammations. This pigment was believed to have protective and healing properties, making it a staple in their cosmetic and medicinal toolkit. They believed that its natural drying properties could help soothe irritations. Red ochre was often mixed with other ingredients to enhance its effectiveness, demonstrating their sophisticated approach to skin care. Similarly, green malachite, apart from its cosmetic uses, was employed as an antiseptic for wounds and eye infections. This vibrant green mineral was ground into a fine powder and applied to affected areas, harnessing its natural antibacterial properties. This merging of beauty and medicine showcases the Egyptians' advanced understanding of natural ingredients and their therapeutic benefits. Their innovative use of cosmetics as medicine highlights a culture that valued both appearance and well-being, setting a precedent for future generations. Today, modern science continues to uncover the wisdom behind these ancient practices. Researchers study the compositions and applications of these ancient cosmetics, revealing their potential benefits and inspiring new approaches in both beauty and medicine. The legacy of ancient Egyptian cosmetics lives on, influencing contemporary beauty products and treatments. By blending ancient wisdom with modern science, we continue to explore the healing power of cosmetics, just as the Egyptians did thousands of years ago. From palettes to pots, the evolution of beauty kits. The Egyptians' love for cosmetics spurred a fascinating evolution in how they stored and carried their beauty essentials. Early forms of cosmetic storage involved simple, functional containers. Over time, these containers transformed into elaborate expressions of artistry and craftsmanship. One of the earliest examples is the Nama palette, dating back to 3100 BC. This ceremonial palette, used for grinding and mixing cosmetics, demonstrates the early integration of beauty and artistry. Crafted from siltstone, it depicts scenes of unification and power, highlighting the importance of cosmetics in even the most significant ceremonies. Tools of the trade applying ancient allure. The application of cosmetics in ancient Egypt was a meticulous ritual, requiring specialized tools. These tools, often crafted from materials like wood, bone, and ivory, illustrate the Egyptians' dedication to achieving their desired aesthetic. Coal applicators, for instance, were thin, elongated tools, often made of wood or ivory. These applicators allowed for precise application of the coal along the lash line, creating the dramatic eye look synonymous with ancient Egyptian beauty. Small spoons, carved from bone or ivory, were used to scoop out ointments and creams from jars, ensuring hygienic application and preventing contamination. status symbols, cosmetics, and social standing. While cosmetics were ubiquitous in ancient Egypt, access to certain ingredients and elaborate containers signified social standing. The use of makeup was not merely for aesthetic purposes, but also a reflection of one's place in society. The elite enjoyed access to rare and expensive ingredients, such as lapis lazuli, a deep blue gemstone imported from distant lands. This gemstone was highly prized and often reserved for the upper echelons of society. This luxurious pigment was used to create vibrant blue eyeshadow, a colour associated with royalty and divinity. The blue eyeshadow was not just a cosmetic choice, but a symbol of power and divine favour, often depicted in the art and statues of gods and pharaohs. The containers for these cosmetics also reflected social hierarchy. The design and material of a cosmetic container could indicate the owner's wealth and status. While commoners used simple clay pots, the elite commissioned elaborate containers made from materials like alabaster, gold, and precious stones. These materials were not only more durable but also more visually striking, making them perfect for showcasing one's status. These containers, often adorned with intricate carvings and precious jewels, served as status symbols, showcasing the owner's wealth and influence. The more elaborate and ornate the container, the higher the social standing of its owner. In many ways, these cosmetic containers were as much a part of the elite's identity as their clothing and jewellery, reflecting their place in the social hierarchy of ancient Egypt. Beauty inside and out. The ancient Egyptians' approach to beauty provides a fascinating glimpse into a civilization that valued both the aesthetic and the practical. Cosmetics were not merely superficial adornments, they were tools of spiritual connections, symbols of status, and even instruments of medicine. From the chemical ingenuity of coal to the evolution of cosmetic palettes, the ancient Egyptians' pursuit of beauty left an indelible mark on history. Their legacy reminds us that beauty can be both powerful and purposeful, reflecting deeper cultural values and beliefs. It is a testament to the enduring human desire to enhance our appearance and connect with something larger than ourselves. Egypt, a land of enduring mystery. The great river Nile carves its path. It has been the lifeblood of this nation. For millennia, civilizations have flourished here. On the Nile's west bank, near Luxor, ancient Thebes once stood in majesty. This was the traditional domain of the departed, a sacred landscape for tombs and temples. Here, nestled within a sun-scorched bay, lies the site known as Deir el-Bahri. Dramatic limestone cliffs rise sheer and stark. They form a natural, imposing amphitheatre. The desert sun beats down with fierce intensity, creating a scene of desolate beauty. This was a place chosen for sacred monuments, a location that speaks of power and eternity. Within this breathtaking natural theatre stands a structure. It is the mortuary temple of Queen Hatshepsut. Its pale colonnades gleam against the golden rock, a striking contrast of human artistry and nature. The ancient Egyptians called it Djeser Djeseru. This name translates to Holy of Holies, or perhaps the Sublime of the Sublimes. Its visual impact remains undiminished by time. Even now, thousands of years later, visitors are struck by its profound grandeur. A palpable sense of awe fills the air. The temple seems to transcend mere stone. It is a bridge to a distant, powerful past, a testament to ambition and faith. It stands as a silent, majestic guardian, guarding the secrets of a long-lost era. The mortuary temple of Hatshepsut is rightly famed. It is considered a masterpiece of ancient architecture. Its design was revolutionary for its time, breaking from many established traditions. The architect Senenmut showed great ingenuity. He created a structure of enduring beauty, one that harmonizes perfectly with its surroundings, a building that seems to grow from the cliffs. The temple is arranged on 3 ascending terraces. These broad courts are linked by central ramps. Graceful colonnades line the facades of each level, creating elegant patterns of light and shade. This terrace design was a bold innovation. It allows the temple to merge with the cliff face. It appears almost as a natural extension of the rock, a truly inspired and breathtaking architectural vision. Constructed primarily from gleaming white limestone, the temple would have shone brilliantly under the sun. Its construction was a monumental undertaking, requiring vast resources and skilled labor. Thousands of artisans, sculptors and workers toiled to carve the intricate reliefs and towering statues. The sheer scale of the complex is awe-inspiring, reflecting the immense power of the pharaoh. Today, Hatshepsut's temple continues to captivate. It offers invaluable insights into ancient Egypt, into their sophisticated beliefs about the afterlife, their extraordinary architectural and artistic skills, and into the reign of a powerful female ruler. It stands as a vital historical document, its message carved enduringly into stone, a legacy that has weathered the sands of time. The magnificent temple did not spring into existence overnight. Its construction began early in Hatshepsut's reign, likely around her 7th regnal year, circa 1473 BCE. This was a period of stability and growing ambition. Hatshepsut, now firmly established as pharaoh, sought to leave an indelible mark on Egypt's sacred landscape. A monument that would speak of her power and piety, a structure to rival those of her male predecessors. The vision for Djeser is often credited to one man, Senenmut, Hatshepsut's trusted steward and architect. He was a figure of immense influence and talent, overseeing many of the Queen's most ambitious projects. Some scholars suggest a close personal relationship beyond that of a queen and her loyal official. His genius lay in understanding Hatshepsut's desires and translating them into breathtaking architectural reality. The choice of Deir el-Bahari was deeply significant. This bay in the Theban cliffs already held sacred importance. It was adjacent to the mortuary temple of Amenhotep II, a revered pharaoh from the Middle Kingdom. Hatshepsut consciously linked herself to this great unifier. The site was also considered sacred to the goddess Hathor, a powerful deity associated with love, beauty and the afterlife. This location provided a dramatic, almost theatrical backdrop. The scale of the undertaking was truly monumental. It was to be a temple unlike any seen before in Egypt. Vast resources were marshalled for its creation. Labor, materials and artistic skill were all required. Hatshepsut was not merely building a temple. She was crafting a powerful statement of her divine right. Her legitimacy as pharaoh would be carved into its very stones, a legacy intended to endure for all eternity. The construction of Hatshepsut's temple was a colossal effort. It demanded a vast and highly organized workforce. Thousands of individuals contributed their skills and labor. Skilled stonemasons meticulously shaped the limestone blocks. Artisans carved intricate reliefs and painted vibrant scenes. Engineers and foremen oversaw the complex logistics. Scribes kept detailed records of progress and expenditure. It was a city of workers, dedicated to a singular vision. The primary material was fine white limestone, quarried from Tura on the opposite bank of the Nile. This stone gave the temple its dazzling appearance, gleaming brightly under the powerful Egyptian sun. Red granite was imported from Aswan for doorways and statues. Sandstone was also used for certain structural elements. Transporting these massive blocks was an immense challenge, requiring ramps, rollers and sheer human effort. The precise duration of the temple's construction remains debated. Most Egyptologists estimate it took around 15 years, a significant portion of Hatshepsut's 22-year reign. Work likely progressed in phases, terrace by terrace, starting with the lower levels and gradually ascending. Each ramp and colonnade meticulously aligned, the vast courts slowly taking shape against the cliffs, a testament to careful planning and sustained effort. The engineering challenges were considerable for the time. Creating the broad, stable terraces required ingenuity, cutting and fitting the enormous stone blocks precisely, ensuring the structural integrity of the colonnades, the intricate carving of countless reliefs and hieroglyphs, depicting scenes of divine birth, trade expeditions and religious rites. All this was achieved with tools of copper and stone, a remarkable feat of ancient skill and perseverance. Hatshepsut's temple housed shrines dedicated to key deities, integrating her mortuary cult with Thebes' religious landscape. Notable shrines include the Hathor shrine, with columns carved as Hathor's head, and the Anubis shrine. The Amun-Ra sanctuary on the uppermost terrace featured exquisite painted reliefs. These shrines ensured divine favour for Hatshepsut in her afterlife. Hatshepsut's mortuary temple stood as a glorious monument, but her tomb was hidden. The temple was for her cult, sustaining her spirit in the afterlife. However, it was not her final resting place. Hatshepsut sought a hidden burial in the Valley of the Kings. The valley offered secrecy, vital for protecting royal mummies. For centuries, Hatshepsut's tomb remained an enigma. Archaeologists scoured the hills, yet her mummy eluded them. Speculation abounded regarding her ultimate fate and burial. Some wondered if her tomb had been destroyed, while others believed it lay undiscovered. The search for her was a significant missing piece in Egyptian history. Thutmose III attempted to erase Hatshepsut from historical records. Her statues were defaced, her cartouches removed, raising questions about her tomb. The quest to find her became an attempt to restore a powerful figure. The Valley of the Kings held many secrets. Each discovery offered hints, but no definitive answers. Early explorers documented tombs, yet none were Hatshepsut's. The search required patience, research, and luck. The world awaited the moment her sanctuary would yield its secrets. The quest to identify Hatshepsut's mummy was reignited in the early 21st century. Dr. Zahi Hawass spearheaded a new initiative to locate missing royal mummies. Hatshepsut was high on the list of priorities. The team focused on 2 female mummies in KV-60. One was in the Cairo Museum, the other still in KV-60. Could one of these anonymous women be the lost queen? The investigation began with modern technology. The mummy in KV-60 was brought to the Cairo Museum. Both mummies underwent CT scans. The scans revealed crucial details. One mummy, KV-60A, was elderly and missing a molar. The other, KV-60B, was Hatshepsut's royal wet nurse. A wooden box inscribed with Hatshepsut's cartouche was found. Inside was a single mummified molar tooth. The CT scan of KV-60A revealed an empty tooth socket. The tooth from the box was a perfect fit. In June 2007, it was announced that KV-60A was Hatshepsut. The discovery was a major archaeological triumph. Hatshepsut's remains were finally given their royal due. Hatshepsut's temple played a crucial part in Thebes' beautiful festival of the valley, celebrating rebirth and renewal. The festival reaffirmed the divine order and the power of Amun-Ra. The bark of Amun-Ra crossed the Nile to Hatshepsut's temple. Special rituals honored Amun-Ra and Hatshepsut. The festival transformed the West Bank into a vibrant landscape of divine encounter. The sacred life of Hatshepsut's temple was not confined to grand annual festivals. It pulsated with a continuous rhythm of daily devotion and ritual activity. A substantial community of priests and temple staff ensured its constant operation. Their unwavering service was essential to maintaining the sanctity of the complex. They also ensured the well-being of the Queen's spirit in the afterlife. These daily duties were performed with meticulous care, following ancient protocols. This ensured that the temple remained a potent conduit between the earthly and divine realms. The air itself would have been thick with incense, murmured prayers, and the quiet efficiency of sacred duty. Each day began with purification rituals for the priests themselves. They would then proceed to awaken the divine presence within the temple's sanctuaries. This involved opening the shrine doors, a symbolic act of bringing the deity forth. Offerings of food, drink, flowers, and fine linens were presented before the statues of Hatshepsut and the other gods worshipped there. Incense was burned to purify the air and please the divine senses. Hymns and sacred texts were recited, praising the deities and invoking their protection and favour. These were not mere symbolic gestures. They were considered vital for sustaining the cosmic order and the pharaoh's eternal life. While dedicated primarily to Hatshepsut's mortuary cult, Djeser-Djeseru also housed important shrines for other significant deities. The magnificent chapel dedicated to Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty and the West, was a prominent feature. Another shrine honoured Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification who guided souls to the underworld. Above all, the uppermost sanctuary was consecrated to Amun-Ra, Hatshepsut's divine father and the king of the gods. The worship of these deities was seamlessly integrated into the temple's daily life. This ensured a harmonious relationship with the entire Egyptian pantheon, further sanctifying Hatshepsut's own divine status and legacy. Therefore, the temple was far more than a static monument to a deceased ruler. It was a vibrant, functioning institution, a hive of religious activity and meticulous care. Its operation required significant resources. Land endowments provided agricultural produce for offerings. Workshops produced sacred oils, incense, and linens. Scribes maintained detailed inventories and records of temple activities. The sheer scale of this daily enterprise underscores the immense importance placed on the afterlife. It highlights the pharaoh's role in maintaining Ma'at, the divine order. Hatshepsut, sublime of the sublimes, was truly a living house of eternity, sustained by ceaseless devotion. After Hatshepsut's reign, Thutmose III took power. He began erasing her memory from records. Statues were defaced, names removed. Her temple bore the brunt of this campaign. The reasons remain debated by historians, but the impact on her legacy is clear. Centuries after Hatshepsut, Egypt faced the Amarna period under Akhenaten. He promoted the Aten, suppressing traditional gods. Temples of Amun-Ra were defaced. Hatshepsut's temple suffered greatly. Akhenaten's death saw restoration efforts. Temples were repaired, but scars remained. Later periods brought new challenges. Hatshepsut's temple faced neglect and quarrying. It faded into the sands of time. Under Greek rulers, Egypt saw a renewed interest in ancient traditions. The Ptolemies presented themselves as successors to the pharaohs. They restored many older temples. Deir el-Bahari saw minor cultic activity and adaptive reuse. Its grand pharaonic religious life was long past. The site remained a powerful reminder of a bygone golden age. Over time, the temple complex was gradually abandoned. The desert winds began to reclaim the structure. Sand accumulated in its courts and against its colonnades. The vibrant paint on its reliefs faded under the relentless sun. The precise details of its decline into ruin are scarce. Its original function as a mortuary temple ceased. The ancient gods fell silent within its once hallowed halls. With the spread of Christianity, many ancient temples were repurposed. Deir el-Bahri attracted a new faith. A Coptic Christian monastery was established within the ruins. This monastery became known as the Monastery of St. Foibamon. The area gets its Arabic name, Deir el-Bahri. This name translates to Monastery of the North. The ancient stones were given a new sanctity. The monks occupied parts of Hatshepsut's temple for centuries. They adapted the ancient structures to suit their needs. Walls were built, and some reliefs were covered with Christian paintings. Shrines once dedicated to Egyptian gods became chapels for Christian worship. This period of Coptic occupation further altered the temple's appearance. Eventually, this monastery too was abandoned, likely by the 11th century. The temple then lay largely forgotten by the outside world, waiting for its rediscovery and meticulous excavation in the modern era. For centuries, Hatshepsut's temple lay hidden, obscured by desert sands and later structures. Its vibrant life had faded and its true identity was forgotten. Local inhabitants knew of the ruins, but their splendor remained concealed. Early explorers like Richard Pocock documented their observations in the 18th century. Napoleon's expedition and later scholars like Champollion and Lepsius recognized its significance. Their work laid the foundation for future research, bringing ancient Egypt to a global audience. The stage was set for systematic efforts to unveil its buried secrets. The mid-19th century marked a shift towards systematic archaeological work in Egypt. Auguste Mariette founded the Egyptian Antiquities Service in 1858. His efforts curbed uncontrolled digging and protected sites. Mariette began revealing Hatshepsut's temple at Deir el-Bahri. Later, Edouard Neville led extensive campaigns from 1893 to 1906. His team exposed the temple's terraces and colonnades. Neville's work revealed stunning reliefs and the temple's ground plan. Since 1961, a Polish-Egyptian team has undertaken vital restoration work. Their efforts have preserved the monument and uncovered new information. Hatshepsut's temple continues to inspire awe and provide knowledge. The mortuary temple of Hatshepsut, Djeser-Djeseru, stands as a singular achievement, a radiant beacon of ancient architectural ingenuity. Carved into the dramatic Deir el-Bahri cliffs, its beauty remains undiminished. The dream of a remarkable female pharaoh brought to life in stone. Her ambition and connection to the divine resonate from every colonnade, a monument without precise parallel in Egyptian heritage. The harmonious design attributed to Senenmut speaks of a deep understanding of landscape, a testament to an era of peace, prosperity and artistic expression. Its ascending terraces continue to draw the eye and spirit upwards. The journey of this magnificent temple through time is a compelling narrative. It tells a story of grandeur, faith, turmoil and rebirth. From its sacred foundation, it served its queen and the gods of Egypt. Its courts once echoed with the beautiful festival of the valley. Its sanctuaries witnessed the quiet reverence of daily rituals. Then Thutmose III's proscription fell upon its walls, attempting to erase a queen. Later, Akhenaten's reign left its own distinct marks. Centuries of fading light and encroaching desert sands followed, yet the spirit of Djeser-Djeseru endured through all these trials. The rediscovery and excavation unveiled its long-hidden splendor. Early explorers and archaeologists brushed away the debris of centuries. Their efforts revealed the full majesty of its design and reliefs. The soul of Djeser was brought back into the light. Today, international collaborations continue the crucial work. Teams conserve its fragile narratives and reconstruct sections. They piece together the story of Hatshepsut and her era. The temple remains a living archive of ancient Egyptian culture. The mortuary temple of Hatshepsut transcends its identity as an archaeological site. It is a place of profound cultural and historical significance. Visitors from around the world walk its courts with awe. They hear echoes of a sophisticated ancient civilization. The temple stands as an enduring monument to human ambition. It speaks of deep spiritual aspiration and artistic achievement. It is the lasting legacy of the formidable female pharaoh who dared to rule. Her Djeser, the Holy of Holies, stands majestically, a timeless beacon against the Egyptian sands. Imagine a land of golden sands and a life-giving river. This is Egypt. For thousands of years, a great civilization flourished here. It was a world of powerful pharaohs, towering pyramids, mysterious gods. At the center of this ancient world lay a city. This was no ordinary city, the first true capital of Egypt, a place of immense power and prestige, Memphis. For much of its history, Memphis was the beating heart of the kingdom. Kings of a newly united Egypt ruled here, establishing a dynasty that lasted millennia and shaped history. More than a political capital, a vibrant hub of culture, religion and commerce. In Buhej, the white walls, gleaming whitewashed mud-brick walls of the royal palace. Picture a bustling metropolis, grand temples, busy workshops, sprawling residential areas, a symbol of unity. Strategically at the apex of the Nile Delta, where the two historic regions met, Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, coming together as one mighty kingdom under a single ruler. The story of Memphis is the story of ancient Egypt, founded at the dawn of civilization, around 3100 BC, founded by Menes, credited with uniting the two lands. From here, Old Kingdom pharaohs commanded resources to build the incredible pyramids, Giza, Saqqara. Those monumental tombs still stand today. For over 3,000 years, Memphis saw empires rise and fall, its legacy woven into Egypt's history. To understand Memphis is to understand the foundations of ancient Egypt, a city whose influence echoed long after its walls crumbled. For centuries, the exact location of this magnificent city was lost to time. The grand palaces, temples described in ancient texts, had vanished. They were buried beneath layers of silt deposited by the Nile's annual floods, covered by the fields. Unlike the stone pyramids, tombs that defied the ages, the city itself was built mainly of mud brick. This material, while practical, did not endure. Over millennia, Memphis seemed to melt back into the earth. The search for Memphis became a great challenge for early explorers and archaeologists. They knew it must have existed near the modern capital of Cairo, close to the necropolis of Saqqara. One spectacular find was a giant limestone statue of Ramesses II. It was discovered lying on its back, face down in the mud. Today, the colossal figure rests in a museum on site, a powerful reminder of the city's former grandeur. Today, Memphis is an open-air museum, a scattered collection of ruins, statues, archaeological fragments near Mitrahina. Hard to imagine a sprawling capital here now. Thebes has its grand temples and Giza has its pyramids. Memphis is the original crucible of pharaonic civilization. Unveiling its secrets helps us piece together the beginning of ancient Egypt's journey. The story of Memphis begins with a legendary figure. His name was Menes. Ancient historians tell us he was the first king to rule over a united Egypt. Before him, the land was divided into two separate kingdoms. Lower Egypt, in the north, in the fertile Nile Delta. Upper Egypt, in the south, stretching along the narrow river valley. Menes, a powerful ruler from the south, is said to have conquered the north. He brought the two lands together under his single rule. This act marked the dawn of the Egyptian state. To build his city, Menes reportedly ordered the construction of a massive dike. He diverted the course of the river, creating a large area of reclaimed land. This tale of diverting a river is a powerful foundation myth. Was Menes a real person? Historians today debate this question. Some believe Menes was another name for Narmer. Narmer's famous palette shows him conquering enemies and wearing both crowns. Regardless of the exact identity, the story of Menes and the founding of Memphis became a cornerstone of Egyptian history. It was a tale told for millennia, a testament to the moment when Egypt became one nation with one capital. The site chosen for Memphis was no accident. It was a masterstroke of geopolitical strategy. The city was built right at the junction of Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. By placing his capital here, the pharaoh could control both regions effectively. From this central point, armies could be dispatched quickly, ensuring the king's authority was felt everywhere. This location also gave Memphis control over trade. The Nile River was the main highway of the ancient world. All goods moving between the Mediterranean Sea and the heart of Africa had to pass this point. The city was founded on the west bank of the Nile. This was the traditional side for tombs and the afterlife as the sun set in the west. This placement connected the city of the living with the cities of the dead. The annual flooding of the Nile also brought incredible fertility to the surrounding lands. The rich black silt deposited by the river created a vast agricultural surplus. Furthermore, the site offered natural protection. To the west lay the vast Sahara Desert, a formidable barrier against invaders. By controlling this narrow corridor, the rulers of Memphis could effectively secure their kingdom. Once the land was secured, the city began to take shape. Its first official name was Inbuhej, which translates as the White Walls. It paints a picture of a striking new fortress palace rising from the riverbank. The construction of the White Walls was a monumental undertaking. It required a highly organized workforce and a huge amount of resources. These early Egyptians were already masters of logistics and project management. Inside the White Walls, a new world was being created. This central compound would have housed the king's palace, the main administrative offices, and barracks for the royal guard. It was the heart of the government. As the city grew, it expanded far beyond this original fortified core. Neighborhoods for priests, artisans, merchants sprang up around the central palace. But the name White Walls stuck, becoming synonymous with the city itself for centuries. During the era known as the Old Kingdom, Memphis reached the zenith of its power. This period, roughly from 2700 to 2200 BC, is often called the Age of the Pyramids. Memphis was the engine that drove their construction, the capital of the pyramid builders. They planned and organized the most ambitious building projects the world had ever seen. Saqqara, the nearby desert plateau, became the city's vast necropolis. Memphis for the living, Saqqara for the dead. Here, Imhotep designed the first pyramid, the Step Pyramid. The city was the command center for a nationwide effort. Memphis oversaw quarrying in distant regions and transport of stone along the Nile. It was both the logistical hub and the spiritual hub. As the political center of Egypt, Memphis naturally evolved into a major economic hub. The Nile River, Egypt's great artery, brought goods from the deep south of Africa into the city's bustling harbours. The city also served as Egypt's primary window to the wider world. It was a cosmopolitan centre, a place where different cultures and peoples met. Ships from the Levant would sail up the Nile to trade at Memphis. The streets and markets would have been a vibrant mix of languages and cultures. You would have seen Nubian traders, Syrian merchants, sailors from the Aegean islands, alongside Egyptian officials and priests. Workshops in Memphis were filled with skilled artisans, goldsmiths, carpenters, sculptors, jewellers, who transformed raw materials from distant lands into objects of exquisite beauty. During its golden age, Memphis was a vast and sprawling city, one of the largest in the world. Beyond the administrative and religious districts lay extensive residential neighbourhoods. Life in the city was vibrant and noisy, streets crowded from dawn till dusk, bakers grinding grain, weavers at their looms, potters turning their wheels. Open-air markets were the heart of community life. Farmers selling vegetables, fish, poultry, craftsmen displaying simple pottery, intricate furniture, no coinage, transactions by barter. Religious festivals punctuated city life, royal processions through the streets. Statues of the gods carried out from temple sanctuaries, public holidays filled with music, feasting, celebration, bringing the community together. At the very heart of Memphis's cultural and spiritual life stood a single, powerful deity. This was the god Ptah. He was revered in Memphis as the great creator god. According to the city's priests, Ptah had brought the entire universe into being. He did so not through physical force, but through the power of his thought and through his word. Ptah's great temple in Memphis, the Hutkaptah, was one of Egypt's most important religious centers. Its name means the enclosure of the soul of Ptah. From the Greek Aegyptos, we get the name Egypt. Each day, priests performed elaborate rituals. They awakened the god, they washed the statue, they clothed the statue, they presented food offerings. These rites were meant to maintain cosmic order and ensure prosperity. Because Ptah was their patron god, artisans and craftsmen held a special place in Memphite society. They were the ones who gave physical form to the vision of their kings and the beliefs of their culture. They followed a strict set of artistic rules, a canon of proportions that ensured their figures were always depicted in a formal, idealized way. This style was not meant to be a realistic portrait, but an eternal and perfect image. In other workshops, metalworkers would make bronze tools and weapons. Goldsmiths would painstakingly hammer and shape precious gold. Carpenters worked with rare imported woods like cedar and ebony. The life of an artisan was one of dedication and immense skill. The best craftsmen were highly respected and could lead a comfortable life. The culture of Memphis was, in many ways, defined by their creations. They were the hands that built the glory of ancient Egypt. For the ordinary people of Memphis, life was tied to the rhythms of the Nile and the agricultural seasons. Most inhabitants were farmers, labourers, fishermen, servants. They lived in densely packed neighbourhoods of mud-brick homes. The family was the core of society. Respecting parents and caring for children were core values. The diet was simple but healthy. Religion was woven into daily life. While state gods like Ptah were worshipped in grand temples, ordinary people kept personal devotions to household deities for protection. The afterlife preoccupied everyone. Death was a transition, not an end. Poorer people sought simpler preservation. Burials included pottery with food, drink, and a few tools or personal items. For more than a millennium, Memphis stood as the unchallenged capital of Egypt. Eventually, a new dynasty rose from the south, from a city called Thebes. The shift accelerated in the new kingdom. Thebes became the religious capital. Amun was merged with Ra to form Amun-Ra. New kingdom pharaohs funneled wealth from Asian conquests into temple building. Memphis was not abandoned. It often remained the administrative base because of its location. Thebes became the spiritual heart, where kings were crowned and buried in the Valley of the Kings. Memphis became the northern capital, a base for campaigns into Asia and the main diplomatic center. It kept its cosmopolitan, artisan character. But sole dominance was over. The focus of Egypt had shifted south. The decline of Memphis was hastened by a series of foreign invasions. The Assyrian invasions in the 7th century BC were devastating for Memphis. The city was a prime target. Although the Assyrians were eventually driven out, soon another great empire set its sights on the wealth of the Nile Valley. In 525 BC, the Persians, led by their king Cambyses II, conquered Egypt. For the next 2 centuries, Memphis was the administrative center for a foreign power. It was no longer the heart of an independent Egyptian kingdom, but an outpost of a vast foreign empire. This long period of foreign rule eroded the city's prestige and wealth. The city's spirit was diminished. Each conquest chipped away at its ancient glory, setting the stage for its final, irreversible decline. The final chapter in the story of Memphis began with the arrival of another great conqueror, Alexander the Great. In 332 BC, he entered Egypt. He was welcomed as a liberator. But he had a different vision. he decided to build a completely new capital on the Mediterranean coast, Alexandria. With the founding of Alexandria, the fate of Memphis was sealed. As Christianity spread, the Roman Emperor Theodosius I ordered the closure of all pagan temples. This was the death knell for the great Temple of Ptah and the other institutions that had been the lifeblood of Memphis for 3,000 years. Its magnificent stone buildings became quarries for new construction projects. The remaining stones of Memphis's temples and palaces were dismantled and transported to build the mosques and walls of the new capital, Cairo. Today, visiting the site of ancient Memphis can be a surprising experience. What remains is gathered in a small area near the modern village of Mitrahina. This site is now an open-air museum. The centerpiece of the museum is an astonishing, colossal statue of Ramesses II. Even without its lower legs, the statue is over 10 meters long. The carving is exquisite. Outside, in the garden, the most impressive is a large alabaster sphinx. It once guarded the entrance to the great Temple of Ptah. These remains represent only a tiny fraction of what once existed. The vast majority of Memphis lies buried beneath the ground, hidden under layers of Nile silt and the modern landscape. Memphis was the world's first great imperial city. It was the prototype for a capital city. The concept of a single, dominant capital city from which an entire nation is ruled was established here. Memphis's legacy is also written in stone across the nearby desert, Saqqara, Dashur, Giza. These monuments are the most visible and enduring legacy of the power that was once centered in Memphis, yet its influence endures. It lives on in the very name of Egypt. What remains is not a city of buildings, but a city of ideas. The idea of unity, of divine kingship, and of a civilization's quest for eternity. The white walls may have crumbled, but the echo of the world's first capital will resonate for all time.